myself sorted. Oh, what can I do there? Okay. Oh, it's still spinny circles. There we go. Hey Sharon, how are you? Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry. Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Yes. I'm a bit late because I was setting up. Right. Okay. Hello. And hello to you, Sharon, being here live with me. And hello to 50K Way. I'm not sure if you're going to be joining me live on Facebook, but you're very welcome to hop on Zoom. I just posted the link in the discussions tab. Sharon, are you here to create some content?
I am.
Hooray! Well, what I'm going to do is I've got a few slides, some tips on how I organize content and where to go for content ideas. And then we will, oh, Deb's here, I can see on the old Facebook, brilliant. And then we'll do some live content, generation or topics, putting it into buckets, seeing what works, what doesn't. How does that sound?
That sounds good. Do you want me to put myself on mute so I don't?
In a minute, but
Okay.
Tell me first, what is it that you do, Sharon?
So I'm a nutritional therapist. I've been doing this for a couple of years, taking one-to-one clients, building that up. But I want to so I just get overwhelmed with all the stuff. So I'm constantly kind of trying to do content, then trying to think of ideas, then drawing a blank. It's driving me potty because I want to put together something that's going to reach more people. So then I've got the thing of putting together the offers. Well, it's the whole thing, isn't it? Completely overwhelmed sometimes, whilst still trying to build up my one-to-ones, which I love doing.
Right.
And just there must be an easier way for me to. I think maybe sometimes I'm doing content but throwing too much and overthinking it a lot. Yeah. I need to make it a lot simpler so it doesn't take up all my time as well.
Brilliant. Well, you're in the right place, and you know what? I so feel you, because I think a lot of us feel like that a lot of the time. There's so much, and there's the chicken and egg, and do I do this first or that first? And it's like you have to be like a massive project manager, don't you? As an
It does, and then you just get so overwhelmed, you end up not doing anything. And I've got to strip back, I think.
Okay, or going down rabbit holes and then realizing you've spent hours doing something that wasn't really actually going to get you any further forward.
I know, and I can't. It's driving me slightly potty, because as soon as I'm going on social media again, I've realized I'm one of those typical people. I've lost another hour on nothing, just scrolling, and I've got to stop it. It's so easily done, isn't it?
No, that's true, and especially not when your business is on social media and you kind of have to be present and engaging, and then like you say, it's all too easy to get distracted, isn't it? But
it's almost like you have to have a chat with yourself beforehand and say, right, I'm just literally going to look at this. I'll give myself 5 minutes.
But you've said something really important there, because when you do that social media scrolling, what you want to turn on is your analytical brain and say, well, what is it that's keeping me going? What is it that I'm attracted to? What is it that I'm finding interesting? What are the types of posts or videos that suck me in and keep me watching?
Okay, that is interesting, because it's people's stories, which I haven't been doing because I haven't been very visible at all. But I love other people's stories about how it's going for them and what's going on and struggles they've had. So I'm getting involved in all of that.
Love it.
So
this is actually really good for content planning. So I know it feels like you're wasting time, but if you can, at the same time as getting distracted, turn that analytical head on and go, oh, what is it about this that's made me stop? And you've already identified that stories is what makes you. And do you mean, like, does it matter if it's text or pictures or reels or videos, or you don't mind?
I don't even mind. It's a variety. I don't even mind if it's just the text.
Okay.
I'm quite happy reading it. Something about it catches me, and I think it's their story, their struggle.
Okay.
I think.
Interesting. Did
Yeah.
you see that my next training next week is all about stories?
Is it? Okay, yeah, that would be interesting because I really want to try and get my story in there, but I have to stop myself on how much to tell about my struggles.
Right.
But still giving a bit away that struggle has helped me to get here, and that's how I can help others. So it's a balance, isn't it?
Yeah. Hi, Emily. I'm going to come to you in a minute. Yeah, well, that's going to really, we will talk about that next week because there's a vulnerability.
Yeah.
And, you know, also a tendency, I think, to, it's not oversharing, but it's giving too much info in one go.
Yeah, and I do tend to share. When I talk to people naturally, I do tend to want to tell them the whole life story, and I have to kind of stop myself a little bit. But I don't want to do that online, you know. Just
well, the beauty of videos and lives is that you can, you know, segment it into chapters.
Yeah.
So you don't have to tell the whole story all at once. But that's fantastic. I'm really glad you're here, Sharon. Thank you for that. Emily, how are you? What's the weather like? It looks sunny. Oh, I've got Emily frozen. Is that just me? Emily, can you hear me? No, she's frozen and muted. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. She's frozen and muted. Oh, I'm turning myself off there. Oh, there you are, Emily. Oh, there you are, Emily. Sorry about that. Okay, Emily, how are you? No, can you hear me? Hey.
Yes, I can.
Oh, and I can hear you. Brilliant.
Yeah, I had a little internet glitch. It crashed.
Don't worry, happens to me all the time. So, Emily, what kind of content do you want to produce? Do you know? You may not know.
I definitely feel for video.
Yeah.
I actually also think I am pretty confident and comfortable with it.
Yeah.
I really like the combination of Instagram.
Okay.
I like the
Is that where you mostly hang out?
Sorry?
Is that where you mostly hang out on Instagram?
I used to, I have to say, with my new program with Abby, kind of like burning my brain. I still struggling a little bit to find my feet in with the new content, new settings, new image.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did add my personal profile from Facebook since I work with Abby. Which I think is cool for the longer, the longer posts, she says, the really storytelling.
Yeah.
But I like the designing part of Instagram. I like that it's kind of like, in one view, it's pretty, it's coherent, it's, well, at least it should be.
Yeah, nice. And Sharon's just told us she's a nutritional therapist, and you work in a similar field, don't you, Emily?
It's a bit, I'm not so much on the nutritional side per se. My passion is actually the cooking and the growing your own vegetables.
Right.
So yes, it is nutritionally or healthy.
Yeah.
I don't use much salt, actually almost no salt, which is kind of like a first step. I make people very aware of dumping all the processed food. But it's very much, and with that, it comes very much about cooking it yourself. So knowing and liking the fact to cook, but a lot of people get stuck because they're so actually brainwashed by the food industry, in my opinion. They get stuck in cooking the same things all the time. And then it gets boring. And then and then it gets boring. And then they don't want to eat the seasonal vegetables because especially now going towards winter, a lot of them are very forgotten and unknown. So they don't know what to do with it, although those are most nutritious. in winter. I'm the 6th generation female chefs in the family, so I know a thing or two about making things in a different way.
Wow, that sounds amazing. And I've heard that when you cook food that you've grown yourself, I don't know if this is a myth, but it has more nutritional value for you. Something like that.
It does actually. Actually, vegetables lose between 50 and 95% of their nutritional value between 24 hours and 3 days.
Ah, okay.
So if you just imagine the route,
cooking it straight.
Exactly. If you just imagine the route a lettuce head takes from the field to the supermarket,
yeah,
you're mainly eating fibers instead of the vitamins and minerals that are in there.
Oh, interesting. And also, I feel like the choice in supermarkets is very narrow, isn't it? When you go to a farmer's market or something like that, you see all these different fruits and vegetables that, yeah. Anyway, we're not here to talk about vegetables. We had Susan join us.
Research also proves or shows that people who grow their own, even if it's just a tiny little bit, and I'm focused on urban gardening because I don't have a garden myself, I have a terrace. So I do everything in raised beds. So it's mini. But even if it's tiny, you're inclined to eat way more vegetables.
Right.
Once you start growing them yourself.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like another benefit. It's not only the benefit that the vegetables have more higher nutritional value. It's also that people finally kind of like start reaching to the amount of vegetables that they should eat on a day.
Right. And I remember as a kid in Sweden, everybody had a vegetable patch. Everybody had fruit bushes and fruit trees. And, you know, kids, we just used to go and help ourselves. So a huge variety of stuff. Yeah. Oh, good. Right. Well, I don't know if Susan's going to come back. Let me get on with my kind of quick top tips on content ideas, how we generate ideas and how we categorize ideas as well. And then I'm going to come back to you two and we're going to talk about your content. So, share screen. Here's my quick, there it is. Can you see my presentation? Just checking. There it is. Okay.
There it is.
So we're here for the content planner. So where to get ideas? Well, I think when you first sit down and go, right, I've got to come up with content ideas, your mind goes blank. And it's only by kind of taking little bits of action that you start to get into a flow. This is what happens for me anyway. So it feels like, oh my God, I'm never going to think of content. And then I force myself to sit down and I'll start somewhere, doesn't matter where. And then as I start, the kind of ideas get flowing, thankfully. So one of the most powerful content ideas, I think, is from your clients. What is it your clients want? What are they always asking you? What are the problems you solve? What are the questions that you have to answer over and over again? And, you know, think of all the daftest questions you've had, maybe the really kind of unusual questions, all of the questions. So go first of all to your clients and think about your offers from their point of view. And that's a really great place to start. And then you can start to imagine what they might ask you in the future as well. So always put yourself in your client's shoes and think about the kind of content that they want to consume. And definitely, if you get asked questions frequently, make those part of your content plan. I had a lady this morning who replied to an email, and I have a small email list that I started nurturing only very recently. And she came back and asked me about specs glare. What can you do about specs glare? And I was so delighted that I was able to go to my YouTube library and go, here's my video actually all about specs glare. And because that is a question I've been asked before. So I made a video about it. And now someone else has asked me, and I was able to send her the link. Go and see what your competitors are doing. This is a great one. So we've got competitors, you know, in different levels, haven't we? We've got competitors that are maybe just a bit ahead of us, competitors that are up in the stratosphere, and then we've got the kind of in between. So go and check out on your favorite platform. So whatever platform you're using, mainly, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, what's the other one? Instagram, LinkedIn, go and check out what your competitors are talking about. And you don't necessarily need to copy them. That's not what I mean, but go and see, maybe you disagree with something they've said. That would be a really good post or video, because polarizing content is also really attractive. So if you're asking people to choose yes or no, the one I saw yesterday was Brussels sprouts, yes or no. People love engaging with stuff like that. So go and see what your competitors are doing. Have you got an opinion that's similar to theirs, opposite to theirs? Go and see what kind of things they're talking about. Can you talk about, you know, similar categories of content? Your competitors are a great place. And also, of course, look where they're getting the most engagement. So if they're posting about, well, let's go back to the Brussels sprouts. They're posting about Brussels sprouts and it got fantastic engagement, then, you know, you might want to think about posting something similar. Then you can have a look at things you've already posted, and particularly look at your posts that got great engagement. And there is in Facebook, but also in the Meta Business Suite, which includes Instagram, insights. So you can go and see which was your most popular post, and maybe look at the top 3, something like that. And that will give you an idea of the kind of things that your audience are engaging with, or that they like to watch, or that they're clicking on or commenting on. And you can brainstorm more posts around similar topics, similar opinions, or whatever it is that you posted about previously. Because it's not that, I mean, you can replicate posts and you should absolutely repurpose posts. And I had a client this morning and we talked about some of her most engaging posts. She repeats them every 3 months. Why not? So don't be afraid of replicating, because not everybody's seen your post in the first place. There is, somebody told me this many years ago, so I don't know if it's still true, but the internet is 10% of people are engaged and 90% are observers. So yeah, so go and do a little dig around in what has worked in the past. And then, of course, you need to talk about your offers. I'm not going to call it sales, I'm just going to call it offers. And you need to talk about your offers. Obviously, you need to talk about your offers so that people can buy from you, but you can divide it into segments. So you can talk about mainly the problems that you solve. That's what we're interested in. We want to know what solutions you're bringing, what are the problems that people come to you with, and what is the transformation that you offer. So with every offer that you have, you need to talk about it, you need to repeat yourself, you need to help people to buy it, but you can also segment it. Particularly if you've got a kind of medium or high ticket offer, you can chop it into segments and talk about each segment separately. Okay, where to Amazon book titles. This is a good one. So let's suppose that we are talking about, well, what kind of thing would you talk about, Sharon? Nutritional therapy. What's a topic that you might talk about? You can unmute yourself.
So yeah, for me, I seem to have niched down into women going through perimenopause, because most of my clients came to me and they seem to be going through that phase. So kind of accidentally, I've seemed to be attracting menopausal women.
Hooray!
It's
Well,
really
great
interesting
niche.
though. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I would just look up menopause.
You could look at menopause, you could look at menopause diet,
Mm.
you could look up menopause nutrition. I'm sure there is a bazillion books out there on topics like that, similar topics, or even that particular topic, and go and just scan the titles and see if anything there inspires you, because these are things that people are buying, so they must be interested. Same with YouTube searches. YouTube is great. It's like a Google, really. And actually nowadays, TikTok, weirdly, I didn't know that people were using TikTok like they use Google. So if you can bear it, hop on TikTok or YouTube and just put in a few title ideas, a few topic ideas, and you will get millions of suggested videos. And that can give you some inspiration as well. Now go and, obviously, if you see a video it's only got one view, maybe don't do that one. But you know, you can go and see, again, if you find a video that's got great engagement, you can go, oh, okay, interesting. So people are interested in that particular topic. Maybe I can do something similar. And Google. Now, Google is a bit hit and miss, I think. It's almost like it's not specific enough these days, which is why it's interesting that people are turning to TikTok to find things out. But all of these places are great places just to go and browse for ideas. Put your topic in, put your industry in, you know, put some ideas in and see what comes up. Right. I feel like oh no, I know what I'm doing. I do know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna say hello to a few people. Yay, hello, Abby's here as well. Woohoo! Okay, so where else can we go? So yes, so ideas. And this is a bit like the client FAQs. What problems are you solving? List all the problems that you're solving and then make a video about each one or write a post. Are you troubleshooting the same thing over and over again? Are people coming to you with, I don't know, let's say maybe, you know, Canva issues, website issues, how to grow tomatoes, how to obviously deal with perimenopause. So think about that again from solving your client's problems point of view. And then back to this transformation, the transformation that you offer, because the lovely thing about talking about people's problems is that you've got the solution. Yay! And you want to give people the opportunity to buy your offers, your solutions, in as many different ways as possible. So you can make videos about the same offer, you know, every day for a month. And people are going to find different things interesting, different people are going to see it. And even if people do see it and go, oh no, she's banging on about that thing again, it's A, really unlikely, and B, they won't be bothered. I'm not bothered when I see that. If I see someone talking about their offer all the time, I think brilliant. Every time I see a new post about that offer, I find out something else that I didn't know before. And you can also think about different ways of presenting the offer. And now Carol is brilliant at this, and I think she's mentioned it in one of her trainings about how we have different, I can't remember what she calls it, but I want to say like it's like learning styles, but I don't know if I mean learning styles. So some people like statistics and information and detail like that, and some people just want, you know, the overall picture, and other people want images and videos. So, you know, there's lots of different ways of saying the same thing is what I'm getting at. Okay, oh, now, have you come across title generator? Have you seen title generator, either of you?
Absolutely.
Okay,
yeah, it's a good.
Yeah, have you tried it?
Yeah, I did actually. Yeah, that is a good tool. Yeah.
Well, let's do it now. Let's go over to title generator, headline generator. I'll drop the link underneath in the group. Okay, so what we do here is, we don't need Kate's help, thank you. So what we do here is we put some keywords into this box. Look, I've already done it. Video marketing library I've put in there. I'm going to actually put camera confidence. And then I just click, whoop, and it's come up with 700 headlines and titles for me. Hello. And here they are. And this is a great way to come up with generating headlines. Now, a lot of them won't be any good for me. They might be camera confidence and love, how they are the same. I'm not going to use that one. But this one's quite good. The camera confidence that wins customers, or 17 tricks about camera confidence you wish you knew. So this is quite a good tool if you're feeling totally stuck. Emily, I feel like we should put your keywords in. What keywords would you like to search on? Let's go back. Can you think of any?
I can think of, I mean, of course, the urban gardening is something that is one of the pillars of my program. So that might be an option.
Okay, let's see. Urban gardening. Show us your titles. Okay, another 700. Maybe it does 700 every time. I don't know. 9 ridiculous rules about urban gardening. Not sure about that one. Make your urban gardening a reality. That's quite nice, isn't it? The untold secret to urban gardening in less than 10 minutes. Not sure about that one. The lazy man's guide to urban gardening. I'm sure that would appeal to a lot of people.
That
A
is
to
a good one.
Z. Yeah. So there you go. That's a really simple way to come up with lots of ideas. They won't all work, but crikey, out of 700, you'll get a few anyway. And that's completely free. Just a bit of a fun thing to come up with some ideas. Okay, back to the presentation, back to Facebook. Here we go. Right, so that's the title generator. Now, my very super quick 2-minute intro, because I feel you ladies probably know who I am, but maybe you're watching on replay and you've never heard of me, and that's fine. By the way, if you're watching on replay, but replay below, and you can still ask questions in the comments, and you can still use hashtag Ask Vicky, because I will come back and answer any questions. Okay, so I am Vicky Blades. I'm your video strategist and coach. And I'm a professional actress, a qualified life coach, and I now use those 2 skills to help people with video, because I think visibility is super important, and I want to help people feel really, really comfortable on camera. I know that if you use video, you will accelerate your income. Simple as that. So my passion and my mission in life is to get entrepreneurs in front of a camera and making more money. Okay, so let's go back to organizing content. Okay, so really quick, super simple way to organize your content is some of it's business, some of it's personal. That would be a really quick and easy way to organize your content. Personal is important because we need to get to know you. We buy emotionally, we buy because we connect with you. I did a live yesterday, my dogs were in it. My dogs, I've only got 1 dog and the neighbour's dog. And I told a story, and this is the God's honest truth, of someone who bought from a coach because they had the same breed of dog. So we do like to see personal stuff. We need to know a bit about you. We need to connect with you. We need to find out your stories. We need to have a sneak peek into where you work and how you work and all of those things. And of course, business encompasses a huge amount of topics all to do with your business. Okay, in marketing terms, and you know, as entrepreneurs, we do have to kind of embrace all of the different aspects of running a business. Marketers often talk about content pillars or content buckets, and you can have 4 to 6 of these. Any more than that and it gets all a bit confusing, and this is just as much for you as it is for the client, because the client wants to see consistent similar topics that you talk about. And if you talk about 12 different content pillars, it's going to get a bit confusing. Now obviously within each of these pillars or buckets you can have a gazillion ideas. And what I do is I brainstorm everything and then I start to put it into my content pillars. In fact, I'll show you what I do. Because I do a spidergram. Oh, I think my light's too bright there. So this is one of my content buckets. It's called Creating Magic Content. Sorry, it's too bright. So creating magic content, magnetic content is in the middle. Then I look at some of the kind of core pieces of content there. Client FAQs is in there, client point of view, my personal point of view, stories, competitors, and then I also add more within each of those bubbles. Is that making sense? Have you used spidergrams before? So Tech Made Easy is another one of mine. Going live on social, sell yourself on screen, mindset mastery, and then I've got 2 bits of what I call hero content, and that's my kind of overarching things that I bang on about all the time. And one thing is confidence. So obviously camera confidence is a big topic for me. And the second thing is visibility. So they're my 2, so they are in my content buckets, but they're the 2 that I can always talk about and come back to, because they're my hero content buckets, if you like.
Vicky,
it's making sense so far. Yes, Emily.
would you include, you said you have 2 hero content pillars or buckets. Are they included in the 4 to 6?
So
Yes.
Confidence is, so confidence is one of my, I think I've got 6 actually. So confidence is one of my 6, and it's also a hero topic. But visibility is a kind of hero subject of it by itself, because it kind of encompasses a lot of the other stuff. So yes, your hero content can be 2 of your content pillars or something completely separate.
Okay.
Good question, thank you. So generate content with purpose. And I think this is a place where people get a bit lost, because people will jump in a video or a live and think, oh, I'm just going to talk about this today. Or, I had a friend who used to, she used to travel a lot for meetings, and she would arrive early and she would always make a video in her car or go live. But it was kind of, I don't think she's going to see this, so I can say, it was just very rambling. So she'd start off going, hi everyone, I've got 10 minutes before my meeting. I thought I'd jump on and tell you all about, X. And then she would tell you about X, but then she'd tell you about everything else as well, like, her whole day, and then the whole website, and then 18 other products. And then it was kind of like throwing spaghetti out. And it was lovely to see her, and obviously great that she finally got brave enough to go live. But honestly, it just had no purpose. And after a while, that's a bit of a turn off. So make sure that you've got a purpose to all the content that you put out. And particularly when it comes to videos, I would say, give value. And we should do that all the time. And I know Abby talks about this a lot. Give, value, value, value. So make sure that what you're doing is giving your customers and potential customers some value. It's got to be worth their time, right? Always include a CTA. That's your call to action. And of course, your call to action will depend on the content of your video or your other posts. And results. Tell us the result we will get from watching your video or whatever other kind of content you're generating. We want to know results. We want to know that it's worth our time. The other thing is, what result do you want? So again, coming back to this idea of having a purpose. Are you there to get more likes, more comments, more DMs, more clicks? Are you there to entertain us? Are you there to make us laugh? Are you there to give us an emotional reaction? Are you there to build the know, like, and trust factor? Many, many reasons why you are generating content, but it's worth having a think about it and thinking to yourself, what is it I'd like to achieve with this particular piece of content? Which is where your CTA comes in as well, of course. There is a deep dive into this where we talk about setting goals in terms of having a certain amount of viewers, a certain amount of reach, and looking at your analytics and your insights. In fact, this is something I do on Get More Clients with Video. But for now, this is just giving you a quick sort of overview and an idea of definitely having a purpose to your content. And then the things you need to think about are things like the frequency. How often do you want to go live? How often can you reasonably make a video? Because it's all very well brainstorming hundreds of ideas, but you've got to be realistic as well. So what is going to work for you in terms of the frequency? How often are you going to be putting out a video, putting out a live, or writing posts? Think about your audience as well. What is it your audience like? Again, this comes back to, if you know, the analytics, looking into your insights, what's performed well in the past, but also trying to get into your clients, kind of stepping into their shoes and thinking about what it is that they would like to see. And then think about the type of content. And obviously I'm talking about video content. So do you enjoy making reels? Do you enjoy making training videos? Do you enjoy telling stories? Do you prefer long form, lives? Which platform are you using? Different platforms like different types of content as well. So if you know that you already love making reels, then great. That should be a focus for you. And this all fits into your 50K way plan beautifully, because it's all about visibility. So creating video content is so important to connect you with your dream clients. We get to see your personality, we get to see your human side, we get to find out your stories, and that's how we connect with you. And once we've connected with you, I don't know, again, I'm going to refer to Carol's training, the MERE effect, M-E-R-E, the MERE effect, which means that we feel like we know you and we are therefore more likely to buy from you. And the statistics back it up. 90% of people who watched a video went on to make a purchase. That's the product-based businesses, which is quite phenomenal, isn't it? And all of this time, all of the content that you're putting out is building your brand, which is super important. And then make it easy. These are my top tips for everything when it comes to video. Make it easy and make it fun. It won't be in the beginning. There'll be lots of prep to do, like content planning, but the more you can integrate it seamlessly into your everyday marketing activities, the more likely you are to do it. Don't get stuck. Ask for help. We're here in the 50K way to help you. We're to help each other. We're encouraging each other. I think you can see that anytime you ask for help, that everybody jumps on. Usually, at least more than one coach will go and dive in. So don't get stuck. Don't hide away. Don't procrastinate. Don't feel like I can't do it, but everyone else can, because we're here to help. Always copy templates. There's millions of them. There's templates for reels, there's templates, content planners. There's gazillions of them on the internet. They only work if you complete them and then follow the plan. Of course, that is the downfall with the content planner. Yeah, so copy templates wherever you can. Here in the 50K way, we've got loads of graphics templates from Abby. And finally, it's really important to be seen on screen. We want to see you being you. You're the most important ingredients in any video content. Of course, you can incorporate narrated videos with graphics. You don't always have to be on a screen, but it's what I prefer to see myself, I know. So I think that's the end, isn't it? Hey. Okay, ladies, let's get rid of that and talk to you guys about your content plans. Oh, no, I've gone the wrong way. Here we go. Have you got any questions? Is there anything I can help you with? Is there anything that I can do to help you generate more content? Feel free to unmute yourself. I'm going to have a quick look at Facebook. Anything at all? Did that make sense? And did it help in any way?
Yes. I can answer to that. I really think the idea of making the pillars or buckets and really try to stick to content that fits one of those 4 to 6 important topics within your programs or business or whatever. I think that is going to be really helpful.
Great.
I still really have to go and sit down for it to make it. But I think that is definitely for me, it would be a very good way, because it is my program and my coaching is a bit broader, a bit more holistic.
Yeah.
Because as I said, I mean, my niche is also on people who had a health scare. So the happy, healthy, pleasurable, fun, tasty life, still don't focus on the don'ts and can'ts. Focus on what you can do and make that as varied and pleasurable and tasty and delicious as possible.
Yeah.
But of course, it is cooking, it is gardening, it is a little bit of mindset and lifestyle combined. So I think kind of like having those pillars would make it easier. Would you go as far as kind of like say I would end up with 4 pillars?
Yeah.
To kind of like also stick them to a timely routine, or would you mix them up?
I guess that's up to you. I'm a bit of a mixer myself. I know some people are really structured. So Tara Wagner is someone who talks a lot about this, and she has a content planner, and she makes sure that, you know, you have one bit of content from each bucket kind of alternating. Whereas I'm a bit more like, well, if I want to talk about camera confidence all week, I'm going to do that.
Okay.
But you'll find one bucket will be really easy to fill, one bucket won't be, and then there'll be 2 in the middle. So yeah, it's up to you. If you want to be super structured, then, you know, make sure that you're picking, you know, taking one out of each bucket at a time. Otherwise, yeah, I think, you know, organically is okay as well, because you've already got the structure there in the buckets. So it depends how far you want to go with scheduled, I think. We're going to have to ask Carol, because she might know more about it. I feel like I'm kind of talking a little bit about sales and marketing. She might know more about this, but Yeah, I think that's an individual choice.
Okay.
Yeah. Sharon, any ideas for you in there?
Yeah, well, just that simply I need to start going live more because I have literally been hiding. I do tend to do some like smoothie recipes, which I love doing because then I've got like a prop. So I'm doing the smoothie recipe. I can explain about the ingredients and why it's good to up whatever phytonutrients and talk about it. When it comes to just speaking, I find that really hard, and I find the beginning bit hard. Like, I think I like the idea of just going into it and just saying, okay, so today I'm just going to talk about how to raise your energy levels and just go straight into it. Do you think that's probably, rather than me doing a whole big who I am?
Well, I have a video framework which I can send you. It's the PDF, and I handed it out on my training the other day. That talks about always having the same intro, always having the same outro, and speaking your name and your business name really clearly. However, you are right, on a live, start with something interesting, a fact, something, I don't know, a story, something that hooks us in. Because yes, people will kind of scroll along, and if you're not kind of capturing their attention immediately.
Sometimes it just seems too kind of staged and corporate, as if you're starting a presentation. I want it just to be more like exactly that, a bit catchy.
Yes. And I always start with my name and what I do, but I don't go into any detail about, I help female entrepreneurs. I'm literally, hi, Vicky Blades, I'm your video strategist and coach, and today we're talking about, buttons or whatever it is. And also, that's just how that's kind of what I've done it so often now, it's like just sort of trips off the tongue. But I do think it's worth repeating your name, and if you have a particular business name, sprinkle it in, you live, put it at the end as well. But I'll definitely send you my PDF video script.
Oh, lovely.
I also have, which I completely forgot to mention, another freebie, the Ultimate Content Kit of Ideas. Of course I do. How did I forget that? I forgot it because I'm in the middle of editing it. It's a very basic, I don't know, it's about 100 ideas of topics and titles that you can talk about, business, personal, that sort of thing. So I'll get that to you as well. And anyone who's watching this on replay, if you want a copy of that, let me know.
So can I just ask about the frequency as well? I mean, how long? I want to try and, if I do like a video, cut it down so I can take clips and then pop something on TikTok, for example. So repurposing, I guess, quickly. And also, I don't want to talk for too long, because I suppose that can get a bit boring. I mean, do you think there's any...
So on a Facebook Live, you want to try it for 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, 10 minutes,
yeah. That's an optimal time for a Facebook Live, because the longer you're on, the longer... what you're actually looking for, this is a bit weird, you're looking for 3-second views. So when you go into Insights, Facebook will tell you how many people landed on that for 3 seconds, for a minimum of 3 seconds. And that's what Facebook is kind of adding up. And it wants you to be on for 10 minutes so it can keep pushing it out to people. So 10 minutes is good for a live. Yes, of course, TikToks and Reels, up to 90 seconds.
90 seconds,
yeah. So it's a real skill, I think. Doing a really short form video is a skill. Obviously, more and more people are doing it now. And there's lots of templates, particularly on Instagram. People are really generous sharing their templates and their audio and things like that. So, there's a couple of people I follow, and I just think their reels are fantastic. Yes, you can edit clips down. I'm a bit anti-editing because it can take a long time. It's a real skill. It's like a real massive skill.
Take a huge amount of time. I really forced myself to, whenever I record something, I really forced myself to editing only cut off the beginning.
Yeah.
Like where you still, your eyes are still going all the way to kind of like do all the
Ticking it.
settings.
Am I live? Yeah.
Exactly. Smile. And then
Yeah.
start. And then cut off the end. Kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
where again, because I do a lot of the recording on Zoom if I do it. So you have to do your settings and you have to check, okay, am I on Facebook? Does it work? Or especially when I do the pre-recording, you know, you still have to click, look, okay, you know, record, blah, blah, blah. And then the same at the end, you know, when I have my last sentence, you know, smile, and then you have to go and stop recording, blah, blah. And I cut those parts off. Yeah. And I really, really trained myself in not even looking at the rest of the video. I just go into my editing program, cut off the beginning until, you know, where I look in the camera and smile, and then cut off the end.
Yeah.
And that's it. I really, really trained myself to not even look it back. I just post it. I'm like,
yeah,
done.
Yeah, maybe that's creating more work for myself, thinking about all of that, because then I'll just end up not doing it if I'm editing and stuff. Just do the video. Yeah.
Exactly. And I have to say, I make so much content that I often don't bother even doing that, Emily. And I know it's really straightforward, but I just feel, you know, even that would take up so much time because, you know, I'm practically and at the moment I'm going live every day, so I really am not editing at all.
Okay, if you go live, of course not. I mean, I did that. I do that actually during the season, during the real gardening season. So normally from April till the end of October, I go live from my own garden once a week.
Wonderful. Yeah.
So, and then it's just what it is. I just take people, I just do a weekly tour through my own garden. So show them what is coming up, what have I been sowing, what have I been harvesting, how things are growing, how you can recognize that. I don't know, something are snails or whatever you can encounter in your garden, how caterpillars of certain butterflies look like, and whether they are really, really damaging to your crop or not, you know, things like that. That's what I do. Then it's live, and then it's like, okay, I have to move around because the sun is blinding my eyes.
But we see, we love that. We love things that are sensory. So making a smoothie, looking at someone's garden, we love all that. And, you know, watching people put makeup on or baking cakes. I mean, it's kind of mesmerizing. So that kind of content is brilliant. And if you do a weekly check-in, it's a bit like doing a weekly newsletter, but you're just doing it on live or on video. People love that. Yeah, I would highly recommend. When you do your smoothie videos, Sharon, do you appear in them, or do we just see your hands making a smoothie?
Yeah, you just see my hands. Again, that's me trying to be doing it, but not doing it. I've got
That's okay.
But it's okay because I speed it up a little bit as well.
Yeah, great.
I like watching people make things and it's sped up, and for some reason I could be there for hours just watching somebody make something. Like you say, it's quite mesmerizing. So that's
oh my gosh.
And then what I was thinking then was I might try doing it live with me talking in it to kind of give me a prop still.
Yeah.
So just give me a bit more confidence, basically. So I was thinking of doing that. Yeah. And then saying a bit about why I'm putting these ingredients in and what they can do for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We love all that.
Yeah. I found what also works, at least for me, it worked really well, is if I look at my, I mean, at home, I have a horrible kitchen. Well, first of all, when it comes to my ideal kitchen, but second of all, also to make a video.
I don't have an ideal kitchen either. So
because it's all, my whole kitchen is kind of like facing walls in a U form. So I can't really do much in that. So what I discovered is what I do is kind of like, you know, I when I'm cooking something that I know people kind of like, what I did, for instance, was a sauce béarnaise. People are very afraid of making something like that.
Yeah.
So I was making it actually, and I thought, so I'm in my kitchen and make it, and I make a picture of all the steps.
Great.
So the one thing that I do prepare is like I do the ingredients like in the nice little bowls and everything.
Oh,
so
like we're on a cookery program. Yeah.
And then I make a picture of the different steps. And then the next day I go back and I make a reel out of those pictures and then put the text to it.
I was about to say that sounds like a perfect reel. Yeah.
Yeah. They are really, really good. And I mean, okay, you have to kind of like combine them, but I have to say on Instagram on your phone, that is really, I mean, honestly, it's easy to do.
Yeah.
If you have the pictures.
And that's great. And you can repeat that. as often as you like, because once you've made it, you've made it. So yeah, don't have to do fresh content all the time. Yeah, great stuff. So Sharon, we're going to see you doing more than smoothing.
Yeah, I mean, I do use it as a bit of a prop, and I was thinking of doing one a week, because I've got like a smoothie pack recipe that can be my CTA, that can go and download that. It's got 30 in it.
Fantastic.
But I've got to start just talking about other stuff, I think, and talking to camera.
Well, I'll send you this ultimate content kit. Oh, look.
Oh.
Oh, I need to go and cuddle my dog now. What kind is your dog, Emily?
It's a Dutch herder.
A Dutch herder. I've got a Belgian Shepherd. I feel like they're quite similar.
They are. I mean, he's from the Shepherd family. Yeah, he's a Dutch herder or Dutch Shepherd. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Yes. So I'm going to send you the ultimate content kit of ideas for sure. And you also need that video script as well, Sharon, just to give you a bit of structure in terms of intro, outro.
I would love the video script as well, just to get the
You would like the script as well?
Have some inspiration.
Yeah, for sure.
Would be great.
Wonderful. Well,
and Vicky, you talked about, what you said, copy templates. I have another question. Would you mind actually stop sharing your screen? You're so tiny. I'm talking to you.
Am I? I thought I had to stop. I thought I had to stop sharing. What's going on? Have I not stopped sharing?
The Zoom is still on sharing.
Oh.
Not the Canva.
Right, come on,
your Zoom. Yeah.
Where's my Zoom? Where's my Zoom things gone?
It's in the middle, down on your screen, the little blue with white video.
I've lost my right, hang on. I've lost my controls. That's what's happened, Emily. Where are my controls gone? Oh, this is so frustrating. Right. Okay, so how do I make? Oh, there they are. Got it. Stop share. I'm so sorry.
No problem.
I apologize. I thought I'd stopped share ages ago. Oh my goodness.
You talked about copy templates.
Yeah.
And then you also you mentioned the content planner template. Is that something you have, or do I just search for it, or just to get an idea?
There are millions out there. Yeah, there's loads out there. Right. I don't have a template. Actually, my template that I used to send to people is just an Excel spreadsheet. Okay. But if you search content planners, you will get
Etsy or something like that.
Yeah. And images, you'll get Excel, you get all sorts of, I'm sure Canva even probably has a content planner. I think even Meta Business Suite has a content planner. There's definitely something, I mean, I know you can schedule posts and everything, but I think there's even content planning help within Facebook. Okay. Yeah, so I don't have one per se, but there are many out there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Can't believe I didn't stop share. Right, ladies, I'm going to let you go. If you think of anything later on, come and ask me questions. Obviously, that's kind of a bit of a brief overview, but I do a deep dive into content. I have I think it's an hour session called Nail Your Content. And we really spend an hour thrashing through your specific content, and we sort out your content pillars, and we sort out a bit of a strategy going forward. So you've got a plan. So I'll post the link to that as well, and you will get my ultimate content kit of ideas too. Same for anybody watching on the replay. All right.
Yes, that was really helpful. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Thanks,
Have a
Vicky.
wonderful rest of the day. Thanks, Emily. Thanks, Sharon. Bye.